Before we begin, tell me where you're watching from in the comments. If you love billionaire drama, hit like and subscribe. This story is going to sweep you away like a storm over a marble coastline. Now, let me take you to the edge of romance, legacy, and obsession, where the past collides with the future, and one woman's passion could rewrite a billionaire's fate. Let's begin. The iron gates of Foxhall Estate parted like secrets whispered into moonlight. Beyond them stretched the ancestral land of the Mercier family, a dynasty built on media empires and gilded scandal. Ivy curled like calligraphy over gray stone walls. Crystal lanterns flickered as luxury cars lined the half-moon driveway. Tonight, the air was honey-thick with anticipation. Inside the ballroom, the chandeliers dripped with gold. Waiters glided past velvet sofas. Camera flashes ricocheted off glass. Journalists whispered in corners like vipers in silk. All eyes turned toward one man. The 37-year-old media mogul stood like a riddle carved in obsidian. Tall, sharp-featured, emotion sealed behind steel-blue eyes. In a custom black tuxedo, he looked every bit the emperor of his world. But not one soul here knew his secret. That, down the hall, behind a forgotten oak door, lay the one room he'd never enter. His childhood library, abandoned, dust-choked, locked until tonight, because fate had brought someone. Far from the champagne towers and chandeliers, in the sleepy corner of Harrow's End, Elena Rowan worked alone. Age 29, with ink-smudged fingers and thrift store boots, she curated forgotten stories like other women collected. Jewelry. She wasn't rich, not even close. But she had something rarer. A vow whispered to her dying grandmother, to revive every lost library we find. Libraries had raised her, protected her when her parents vanished into debt. Shelves were her sanctuaries. So when the Mercier Foundation quietly posted a job for a restoration historian to revive a private family library, she applied without hope until the offer came. It didn't say much, just a sum that could pay off. Her student loans 5 times over, and a location, Foxhall Estate. But what drew her in wasn't the money. It was one line in the contract. Applicant must honor the spirit of the collection. No digital transcriptions, no PR fanfare, strict discretion. Something whispered from the ink. These weren't just books. They were memories, secrets, maybe even regrets. Elena arrived at Foxhall at sunset. The estate was older than she imagined, its grandeur veined with sadness. Vines strangled statues. Hallways echoed. She was given a single brass key. No escort, no fanfare, just silence. The door to the private wing creaked like it hadn't opened in decades. Dust swirled in the air like ghosts. She stepped into the library and stopped breathing. The room spanned 2 stories, with a spiral staircase that curled like a dragon's spine. Sunlight from stained glass windows painted the wooden floor in ruby and emerald. She ran her fingers along a shelf. Leather, gold leaf, original volumes, signed editions, a 1632 copy of Don Quixote. She whispered, "You've been waiting." And behind her, a voice answered, "You speak to books like they're alive." She spun. There, in the doorway, stood Cassian Mercier. No guards, no entourage, just him. His voice low, curious, his gaze unreadable. Elena flushed, flustered. I didn't know anyone else would." "You're the historian," he said simply. She nodded. He stepped into the room like it might collapse under him. I haven't entered this place in 25 years. Elena blinked. Why? He didn't answer, just looked at a cracked leather chair in the corner, then left, just as silently as he came. She stood there, breath caught. Who had that chair belong to? Why did the heir of an empire avoid his own childhood sanctuary? And why? Did his eyes hold so much sorrow? Elena closed the library door and leaned against aged oak. Her heart thundered like a war drum. Every breath tasted of dust and childhood echoes. She replayed Cassian's gaze, so haunted, so raw. Doubt crept in. Did I overstep? A tremor in her voice as she whispered, I just wanted to help. In the hallway, the portrait of Cassian at age 10 watched silently, eyes gleaming with lost dreams. Elena felt tears prick the corners of her vision, shame, excitement, fear. She texted her best friend, Mara. He's here, in the library. I can't. Mara's reply pinged almost instantly. Billionaire mood swings? Stay calm and take notes. Notes. That was her refuge. But tonight, her pen felt heavy. The next morning, dawn spilled through stained glass. Elena found Cassian perched on the spiral staircase, sketchbook in hand. He sketched the cracked leather chair. He sketched the oak door. He sketched her silhouette bathed in kaleidoscopic light. When she asked why, he offered no answer, just slid her the sketchbook. Inside, beneath his precise lines, was a margin note. My mother read to me here until... She stopped. Shock flared through Elena. Cassian's mother? A woman whispered. In tabloids, then erased from the family narrative. He looked up, vulnerability raw. You're the first person to walk this room since she left. Elena traced the note with trembling fingers. He trusts me with her memory. A pang of duty and desire tangled in her chest. By midday, the estate buzzed. Reporters hovered near gates, hungry for a hint of Mercier mystery. Cassian's elder sister, Vivienne, arrived in a tailored suit and frosty smile. She swept into the library, eyes narrowing at Elena's tools. Brushes, gloves, notebooks. You're the intruder, Vivienne hissed. Elena steadied her voice. I'm here to restore, not intrude. Vivienne's lips curled. Father will want a full report, and a public unveiling. Cassian's jaw clenched. No, this remains private. A tremor in the air. Family, loyalties clashing like dueling sabers. Elena watched the siblings, two heirs divided by secrets. Which side would truly win? That evening, Elena found a cup of jasmine tea waiting on a carved mahogany table. No note, just warmth. She breathed in the scent, a bridge across class and caution. Later, in the greenhouse adjacent to the library, she discovered a hidden art corner. Canvases stacked with charcoal sketches of books, shelves, and a small girl curled under a lamp. Cassian's. Mother! Cassian appeared behind her, voice soft. I thought you'd like this. He gestured to a half-finished portrait. Elena knelt, her fingers brushing his. Electricity sparked, then retreated like a shy tide. He cleared his throat. Thank you for seeing more than dust. She met his eyes. Could restoration heal too? Broken souls? If you love these quiet moments, hit like and subscribe for more Billionaire romance. Late afternoon sun gilded the workshop, where Elena catalogued a collection of leather-bound journals. A gentle hum of tools and turning pages until the doors burst open. Dominic Hale, her charismatic ex-fiancé, filled the doorway. His tailored suit and easy smile felt like a knife in her chest. "Surprise," he said, eyes flicking to Cassian's sketchbook on her desk. "Thought I'd drop by." Elena's heart lurched. Memories of abandoned wedding plans and whispered apologies flooded back. She rose slowly, voice steady but cold. "What are you doing here?" Dominic's gaze hardened. "Heard you were working for him." He spat the last word, as if saying Cassian's name burned his lips. "Selling secrets to the highest bidder?" Elena bristled. "I'm restoring a library. Nothing more." Dominic strode closer, lowering his voice. "Don't play innocent. You owe me answers." Behind Dominic, Cassian appeared in the doorway, arms folded, bluish eyes unreadable. Tension snapped like a broken string. Elena caught her breath. Dominic stiffened. "Oh, this is the billionaire. Bravo." Cassian's gaze met Dominic's. "Leave, Mr. Hale." His voice was quiet but absolute. Dominic paused, then smiled. Too smooth. "Very well. But Elena, think carefully who you trust." With a last loaded look, he turned and left. Elena let out a shaky breath. Cassian's hand hovered near his sketchbook. "Are you okay?" She met his concerned gaze. "I will be." But as Dominic's threat echoed, she wondered, had her past just become Cassian's problem? The grand hall of Foxhall Estate had been transformed into a makeshift press chamber. Reporters in crisp suits and heels clustered around a podium, engraved with the Mercier crest. Vivienne took the stage first, flanked by company lawyers. "Thank you for coming. The Mercier Foundation announces an unprecedented reopening of Lord Mercier's private library." Cassian stepped forward, cutting her off. "This isn't a PR stunt." His calm voice rippled through the crowd. "These books belong to my mother's memory and to Elena's dedication." Murmurs swelled. Cameras flashed. Elena stood at the back, heart pounding. Vivian's lips twisted. "We've discovered unauthorized alterations to the collection." Reporter shouted. "Is someone tampering with Mercier property?" Vivian held up a thin file. "Ms. Rowan here has been digitizing and removing rare pages without permission." Gasps erupted. Elena pushed through the crowd to the front. "That's not true. I... Cassian raised his hand. "Enough!" He strode to Elena's side, placing a protective arm around her. "I trust her implicitly. Any accusations will be directed at me." Vivian's poised facade cracked. "Cassian, this is corporate ruin!" He turned on his sister. "You'd rather wipe my mother's story for profit?" The hall fell silent. Elena found her voice. "I've only repaired what was broken. Every annotation matches the original. I can prove it." Cassian lifted his hand, signaling to lawyers. A display screen flickered on, showing Elena's meticulous restoration reports, before and after scans, marginalia, careful rebinding. Reporters leaned in. Vivian's face paled. Cassian spoke softly to Elena. "You did this." She nodded, tears brimming. And the world watched, spellbound. That evening, under a sky masked by low clouds, Elena and Cassian stood alone in the library's center. Candles flickered on every shelf. Cassian held a small velvet box. "Elena," he began, voice trembling, "you've given me back more than books. You've given me my past." He knelt, opening the box to reveal a delicate locket, engraved with her initials intertwined with his mother's. Inside, a miniature sketch of the cracked leather chair and a pressed violet from the library's secret garden. Elena's breath caught. "Cassian," he slipped the locket around her neck. "Will you stay? Not just to restore these pages, but to write our next chapter together?" Tears rolled down her cheeks. She placed her hands over his. "Yes, 1,000 times. Yes." He rose, drawing her into a tender embrace. The library seemed to sigh with relief, as if his mother herself was smiling. But beyond the stained glass windows, storm clouds lurked, a reminder that love, once restored, still faced the tempests to come. Spring arrived at Foxhall Estate. The mansion's wings thrummed with gentle activity as the Mercier Literary Initiative opened its doors. Children from all walks of life roamed the restored library, eyes wide at the treasures Elena had uncovered. Volunteers guided them through reading nooks built from recycled shelves, inspired by her grandmother's teachings. Cassian watched from the gallery above, pride softening his usually stern features. He caught Elena's hand and kissed her knuckles. "You've changed everything." Elena smiled, brushing a strand of hair from a young boy's face as he traced a woodcut illustration. "We did it." A press release announced that profits from Mercier Media would now fund free literacy programs worldwide. Cassian's mother's legacy, reborn. Tell us in the comments, which library would you restore if you could? If Elena's dream inspires you, hit like and subscribe. And so, our story comes to a close. For now, from abandoned shelves to a living legacy, two hearts found each other among the pages. Thanks for joining this emotional roller coaster. Like, share, and subscribe for the next Billionaire love friction saga. What twist will fate bring next? We'll see you soon.